Welcome to the Week 4 recap. I hope everyone had a great week, because once again, I did. Well, we're now over a quarter of the way through the season, so things are really starting to settle in over here, and surprisingly, not surprisingly, it's me out front, and still landing. Still 4-0. I wish I could explain that. I don't know. Some real big surprises coming up here. The two worst team in the league so far are Tony and Hoffman, two former Toad Cup champions. So that might say a lot to what holds in the future. Perhaps this is a new era in the league dawning right before our eyes, and some of you young members can really enjoy it. Let's take a look through the this week's games, shall we? Rookies Rogue Raccoons defeated the Gucci's in resounding fashion. Tony started in Infinite Wisdom Stevie Johnson, who had a whopping -1 point. Real impressive stuff coming from Tony's team over here, yeah, for sure. Score turd. Moving on. Real tough loss for Tim Tonesy and his Grundles to Troy and the Lucky Sevens this week. Troy put up league all-time second highest score, not to be confused with mine from week 1, of 176.9. Still nothing to shake a stick at. He's this week's score leader, and poor John, the number 2 scorer of the week, with 154. John's the number 2 scorer in the league, but poor guy is only 2-2. That's how these things shake out sometime. Joe Ped squeaked out a win against Vader, and so that takes Joe Ped out of the defeated category. And Vader, in his infinite wisdom, in which he's never been over his head once, decided to start Brian Hartline, a white wide receiver on the Miami Dolphins, in his OP, who scored a whopping 3.4 points on Monday Night Football, instead of Matt Schaub, who put up 15 against Seattle, and that would have given Matt the win. So, why don't you mull that one over your head in the frat house there, Matt, and think about what you'll do in the future, okay, buddy? Meanwhile, poor Hoffmeister's just not catching a break. Coppola scampers off to victory silently on Monday night, with Darren Sproles racking up 25 points, most of that coming in the first half. Needless to say, Hoffmeister's in some rough waters over here. 0-4, the only defeated team remaining. Real sad days for Team Middle 84, while the Live Lifers somehow edge out to 2-2. And in another obscure matchup, we have Falco versus Dirt McGirt. And Dirt McGirt looking stronger than normal this season, but still sitting at 2-2 after Landon put out a 144-point performance. So he's riding off the glory of Matt Ryan and a resurgent Arian Foster, who's been really kind of underperforming this year so far. But coming up next week, it's myself versus John in the match of the week. Number 1 and number 2 scoring offenses in the league. It's going to be a shootout. Let me tell you that. Meanwhile, the 2 underperformers of the league, Tony and Ryan, face off in the bullshit game of the week, I'll call it. Why not? Because these two aren't going anywhere. Otherwise, get ready for week 5. Work some trades, work some waiver wire. Do what you want to do. Live your life. I'm not the boss of you.